Okay, here we have the steam box, or in this case it's a PVC pipe, with a teapot down below. It's got a gas generator underneath it, creating the steam. And right now it's been in there about 10 minutes, but we need to leave our wood in the steamer for about 45 minutes per 3/4 of an inch, or 1 hour per inch. In that steamer right now, in the box, we have 4 pieces of wood that we're going to bend today. And they've all been soaked. In our case, we soaked them for about 3 or 4 days in a bathtub at home. Normally I'd soak them overnight, but my friend Joe here says that if you soak them longer, it works better, so we're going to do that. George is ready.
Okay, good.
So over here these are homemade bending forms.
Okay.
And that's the shape we're going to bend the wood to.
Okay, hang on.
They're designed, Tim designed them so that they're a little bit undersized, so that when the wood will naturally flex back a bit. So it's overbent initially. And then after about 3 days or 4 days, we'll release the clamps and it'll bend back a little bit. And it's not perfect, but it's close enough for these kinds of chairs. Now what's happening when you bend the wood, of course, is the outside is in tension and the inside's in compression. On the tension side, the outside, there's a likelihood that it wants to split because you're pulling the fibers apart. So hopefully using this method where you lock it in will restrain it enough so that won't happen. It's not something that we always do, but I think it'll help. And then the idea here is we got these clamps. We have these big clamps that Tim has, and after we'll initially clamp it right here in the center, and then we'll throw these on and bring it down and pull this thing in on both sides. We'll do 2 at once. Bring it in, and then there'll be a second set of these that we'll use to bring it in even closer. Once we get it clamped down as far as we can,
That's good enough.
then we'll put this type of clamp right on the very end on both sides, so that I can then transport it home, and it'll have its own little clamp holding it in position. How about that?
You take this one.
4 and 4.
4 out of 4.
100%.
Wow.
Okay, well, we had 4 pieces, and we got 4 good ones. We got no splits whatsoever. We got really lucky. Usually, you know, if you're doing 4, you can figure 3 of them will be good and 1 bad. Anyway, we were lucky today, maybe because of all this rain.
So what about the temperature of 200 degrees? It's not only time, but temperature?
Oh yeah. It's important to be over 200 degrees.
You've got to have that steam to soften the lignin in the wood. And that's the kind of like the glue or adhesive that holds the fibers together. And if that's not soft, it's not going to bend very well.
And that will harden now. That lignin, that glue in there is going to re-harden to hold it in this new position.
Yeah. It'll spring back a little bit. It'll spring back probably
The thickness of that wood? Maybe?
Yeah, about this will go to about here, but you know,
No, that's
you know that those chairs all move.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect.
no.
This is called a Boston fan back side chair.
No arms.
Yeah, no arms.
It's really comfortable.
These
nice
two,
looking.
the 2 that I'm making are for 2 of my nephews that live in Monterey. I made 2. Their 2 sisters got a chair about 6 months ago, and they were there to help load the chairs out of the car. And my oldest nephew says, "Uncle, where's my chair?" So here I am.
That's great to have family
Yeah.
that really likes these things.
Yeah, I got some really nice letters from them.
Yeah, that's a whisper light. This is a whisper light for backpacking. We used it when we'd go into the Yosemite. And it's a great little stove. And it puts out a lot of BTUs. And it's just alcohol that's used for fuel, valve here. And we used all the fuel in this. I filled this up about 7/8, and there's not much fuel left in there.
What type of fuel is it?
It's alcohol. Yeah. And I have to watch during the process to make sure this doesn't dry out, that there's always water in there. And that's tricky. And then also I've got this, these automobile hoses transfer the steam up to the, through some holes in the bottom of the pipe. And I've got this other heat plate and just an old copper tea kettle, and as a steady source also, and that kind of helps to keep the temperature up where it needs to be. The tube itself just has a cap on each end, and there's a hole in each end to let the steam out. There are little
Thermometer.
there are little dowels that protrude through here to create a platform so that the steamed parts aren't sitting in water. There's a drain hole also in here that that keeps the water out from building up too high. And that's about as simple as you can get.
Hey, bye, George.
See you later.